Alright guys, so today I'm going to do a maintenance video on my Kawasaki Versys 650. This is a 2009 model. So the bike has around 12,000, let's see, it's got 12,353 miles on it. So today I'm going to do a air filter clean. So the air filter is underneath the tank here, so this side panel has to come off, the windscreen has to come off, then the right side panel, all the panels have to come off, and then the gas tank will have to be lifted up. And then once we get in there, we'll see a cover where you open it up, there will be a filter inside. So that's the idea, at least. So let's see how the project goes. So I'm going to first get rid of the panels, and when I get to the gas tank, I'll talk through any problems I have so far. Alright, so the seat is off. Now this panel, this black panel, this has to come off. So as you can see, this has a nut here, so that has to come off. So now these two nuts, this has to come off, so we can lift the tank up. All right. Okay. That nut has to come off. Alright guys, so I removed this connector that powers the fuel pump. Then I disconnected the fuel line. I don't know if you can see it right there. So I disconnected that. It's held on by a small clip. It's in red color, and that's how it looks. So you just remove the two edges off. It comes right off. It goes on top of it. So once you do that, the fuel line gets disconnected. It's sitting inside like that, so you just pull it off. The power is off, so you won't see any fuel coming off. So now one thing I don't want to do is, you see this vent hose coming out. Now they are really held tight on the inside the tank, so I don't want to wiggle all the way and struggle through it. So I'm going with the solution of taking the vent hose all the way out. It was held in place by it was sticking in, it was pushed inside this cover, so it stays in place. So I wedged it off, so it's loose now. So when I lift the tank, this entire tube line is going to come with the tank, which is fine. It's easier to put back in rather than struggling with the clips that's holding the vent hose. So now that the tank is off, all the connections are off. As you can see, you can lift the tank. It's a little heavy because I have close to 3 gallons of fuel in there. Now it's held together by two U joint here. It's like that, and the gas tank goes and fits in there. So it's like that. It's like that, and it fits into a joint. So I'm going to wiggle it off. So give me a second, and I'll show you how it's done. There was one more wire that had to be disconnected. It was this wire. So it was attached to the gas tank. This is my first time doing it, so I'm not sure whether this is the fuel pump power line or this one. If you know, you can tell me in the comments. Alright, so gas tank is off. As you can see, it was the gas tank was resting on these two joints. It was that U joint that went and snug fit in there. So obviously it's a bit dirty. I assume this is the first time the tank is coming off since the bike left the factory. So it's almost close to 8 years now, so obviously it's quite dirty in there. I'll have to clean it up. Now when you rest the tank, make sure you don't damage the pump. Obviously, as you can see, the pump is left outside, and I'm just resting the tank on the body. So make sure, do not put any force on that pump. Do not let it rest on anything. So now I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and if my assumption is right, this nut has to come off, and this hose will have to come off, and these 4 nuts probably when I remove them, I'll probably see the air filter. I think this is the air filter. This whole thing just comes out. This door is to access the plugs, if I'm right, but I'm not sure. We'll find out. Alright guys, so I cleaned it up. So this door is now loose. I took off all the 4 screws. I took off the screw for the air filter. Now this breather hose, or whatever this hose is called, it's now free to move, and this latch should come off right there. So it is attached to the hose. You just lift it up, and there it is. Okay guys, as you can see, there are 2 butterfly valves inside. So I think that's where the throttle body is, here. So I'll have to remove this plastic to get to that. I'm also intending to clean the butterfly valve. So let's see. Now that is out of the way, the air filter should be able to move freely and come out. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Yep, it's almost there. There you go. Oh, holy crap! Look at that. Whole thing is destroyed. What? Jeez. Where did the rest of the stuff go? Oh crap. That can be good. Oh, I did not expect that. I probably have to get a new air filter. It's all crumbling up. Look at that. That's nasty. Jeez. What happened here? Whatever. So I need to make sure stuff has not fallen into the engine. This whole thing has been destroyed. There's nothing left here, guys. So this is what I got coming out of the bike. That can be good. The whole thing just crumpled away. I was expecting a filter that I could clean and put back in. Obviously I have to get a new one. My biggest concern now is what happened to the rest of the filter. Did it fall into the intake? What the hell is going on here? I don't know. Alright, let me remove the box and I'll update what I find. Alright guys, I found where the rest of the air filter is. It's disintegrated in there. As you can see, there's that right there. That's part of it, and there's some more bits and pieces right there. So not sure if anything fell into anywhere else, where at least as long as it's just here, I can just take it off. But this is not what I expected. So anyway, and time to get a new air filter and clean up the stuff. Okay guys, so to remove this cover, it's not as easy as I thought it was. I thought we just have to remove the 4 screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's not as easy as that. Hidden screw right there, one. It's difficult to get at. And another one here. Now there is 2 more, one there, one here, and one behind this right there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's one right there. So once I get that, this top box will come off, and then I can show you the butterfly valve and the remaining pieces of the filter. Okay guys, so I got the top cover off, and as you can see, the remaining bits and pieces of the filter is right there. So I'm going to get it one by one. That's part of it, and there's another chunk right there, some more here, just disintegrated for some reason, and right there, here's a bigger chunk. Whoa, look at that. And a small chunk, and there's some more here, right there, and that's pretty much it. Something here, and based on what I see, there's nothing that has fallen inside the air intake. So hopefully they are clean. I'm going to put some valve cleaner just to make sure, since I got so far, I better put some air cleaner. I don't think I can get to it because of this Oh, you can see right there. The butterfly valve is right there inside. And I don't see any bits and pieces of air filter there, so that's good. Alright guys, so I'm going to clean up this mess. I'm going to get a new air filter, and hopefully I can put it back together quickly enough, because I got to go ride this thing maybe tomorrow, but I'm not sure if I can get the air filter locally or I have to order it on the internet. Most likely it's going to be in the internet, but we'll see. Alright guys, so I took off the top cover for the air filter box. Now the bottom cover is ready to come off. I earlier took off these 4 bolts, so it's kind of loose now. Now one thing you have to remember before taking the box off, there are 2 hoses connected at the bottom, so you need to disconnect them. It's a little tricky to get to it, so I had to remove the side cover here in order to gain access to it. Let me see if you can see it here. Okay, it's easier to see from the top. Right there. So that's the hose that needs to come off, and this is connected to that. So this is connected to that. So, and there's one more hose that has to come off, and that's probably here. You'll know it when you see it. So that has to come off, and now the box is free to, you just wiggle it a little bit and should come right off. There you go. And now you can see the spark plugs right there, 1 and 2. The left side is 1 and the right side is 2. So now that I can see the spark plugs, I'll probably change out the spark plugs also. Since I have gone so far into it, I would also like to change out the plugs. And I have put an order for BMC air filter, so when that comes in, I'll reassemble the whole thing. I'll probably video that also, so it helps somebody. So this is the spark plug socket. As you can see, there's a rubber boot inside. The spark plug fits inside the rubber boot so it doesn't fall off. So I'm using an extension. It's not enough, so I'm going to use another extension once I get this one in, because there's not much clearance between the body frame and the spark plug hole. Alright guys, so I changed out the spark plugs. I put some anti-seize not on the plugs but on the rubber fitting on the boot. It was getting a bit hard, so it was difficult to pull out the boot, so I put some anti-seize just on the boot. Now for NGK spark plugs, they are nickel coated or chromium coated, I don't know, some coating is applied to those plugs, so you don't need to put the anti-seize on the threads. Again, you don't need to make it too tight. I just did like 1/10 or 1/16. So get it hand tight and give it less than a quarter of a pull with the spanner. So that's pretty much it, and it's tight, and the boots are now free to take out and put in. So with the anti-seize, that will help down the line when I get to this again couple of years later to change this plugs again. So that's all done. Now it's time to put back the air filter cover and wait for the air filter. Once it comes in, assemble back.